Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Never Seen It. It's a podcast where we watch movies that we haven't seen yet. I am your host, Betsy, and with me as always is Trent.
I'm always here.
And we have reached episode 5, the final episode of this series. We are going to see today Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Betsy, they made another one.
They did. So it was a lot of years in between 3 and 4. It has been slightly fewer years between 4 and 5.
Almost the same amount, but who's counting?
But you know, Harrison Ford, not a young man anymore.
Not a spring chicken, as they say.
This is going to be the last one. They have not made any secret about this is the last Indiana Jones. So we've come a long way. All of the different things, the Nazis, the communists, the aliens, we have been through it all, Trent, and now we're going to see the finale. So tell me, what do you know about this movie we are going to see?
Not a goddamn thing. So starting off, it's still going to be Indiana Jones, played by Harrison Ford. And we have seen some trailers because it's been really hard to avoid them. If you're on the internet, if you watch television, which we really don't.
This is the media blitz
Yeah.
that we used to see as kids when you would see the big blockbusters of the summer.
Yeah, and this summer is no exception because we keep on talking about it in every single episode that we do, especially new movies. This summer is packed.
Every week.
Filled with movies that we all want to see.
But we ain't got the time. We're just picking and choosing.
Yeah, we're not going to see every single movie because this is not a new movie podcast. Or at least that's not the goal here. We prefer to watch older movies that we seem to have missed out on, but sometimes you just have to watch all the classics first. But as far as this movie is concerned, it's going to be another of his adventures, I suppose. You know, it's Harrison Ford being his old-ass self, and
grumpy old man Harrison Ford.
Yeah, and some new people, some old people. I know Mads Mikkelsen is in it. I think he's a Nazi.
Yeah, there's some stuff going on where we are making Indy young again.
Yeah, there's like one little frame in one of the trailers that we've seen where it is like a de-aged Harrison Ford.
That is what we're doing in this movie.
And maybe we're getting a flashback to a movie that never got made, maybe.
It's one of his adventures that isn't featured in a movie until this point. But Mads Mikkelsen is in that timeline. Yeah. So he's with young Indiana Jones.
Right. And I don't know if he's going to be in the future or whatever we're calling this time frame.
The present that is actually the past.
Is it like the 60s by now?
I think it's the 60s, yeah, because he's retiring and they keep saying he's retiring and doesn't know what to do with himself.
Yeah, and Phoebe Waller-Bridge is also, I think, the other main star here, who they refer to as his goddaughter.
I'm really glad they do that in the trailer so nobody thinks, oh God, why is he dating this very young woman? Because at the end of the last one, he got married, so that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
And are they just going to come out and say that the other people are dead? Like his wife is dead and maybe his son is dead?
No, I think Karen Allen is in this one really briefly.
Is she?
I think really briefly. She's not a focal point of the movie. Shia LaBeouf is not in this.
Yeah.
Like, he's dead to us.
Yeah, we have addressed...
Mutt Williams is dead to us.
He's probably dead in the movie, too. Let's just not even talk about him anymore. We discussed Mutt Williams enough in the Crystal Skull episode.
We did. There's also another returning favorite, John Rhys Davies, is going to be in this.
Yeah, they do the clip of him, give him hell, Indiana Jones.
I would gather, just based on that, it's like one scene. Yeah. I doubt he's in this very much. And the other person I know is Antonio Banderas.
Okay, yeah.
He's under a big beard and a hat, and he's a little bit more incognito than you're used to seeing him. But that's Antonio Banderas.
Yeah, again, all old people.
That's okay. I'm not too upset about it. I can't help myself. We've touched on it as we've been going through this. I went on opening weekend to see Crystal Skull. I'm going on opening weekend to see Dial of Destiny.
And it's not something that we do very often.
No. And is it going to be good? I don't know. It's probably not going to be good.
I'm prepared for it to be fine. It's the consensus that I've read is that, yeah, they maybe played a little safe. It's not as like big as you want it to be because Harrison Ford is an old ass man.
He's 100 years old.
Cannot do this anymore. It's all that mileage, Betsy. You need to trade in for a newer model. And that's the big question. Are they going to set this movie up for the next generation, or are they going to kill it off?
I think we're just going to let him ride off into the sunset the way that Last Crusade ended, where he literally ran off on his horse into the sunset.
Yeah.
I think they're going to do that because we don't need a reboot with a new young Indiana Jones. Not in Harrison Ford's lifetime, not while he's still around. No, he doesn't need to be making any more, but I just think they will close this book and be done with it. So let's get to the actual plot. The device in this movie is the Dial of Destiny. Thoughts? What do we think it is?
Time travel.
Honestly, I think it's time travel.
What the fuck else can they do?
It looks like a clock. We've kind of done everything else. It has to have some vague supernatural theme.
Uh-huh.
I think we're right. I think we're going with time travel on this one.
Why not?
Even if it's like 10 seconds. Like you can go back in like Galaxy Quest, where there's a device that you can go back only a certain amount of time, like X number of minutes and so many seconds.
I've only seen the movie once, but I think I remember that.
Sorry to spoil an element of a movie that has been out for 25 years, guys. You should really go watch Galaxy Quest.
It was pretty good.
So that's kind of what I'm thinking is if you can go back in time, it's for a limited time offer. It's just a little bit, enough to like make a difference.
Or it could be more abstract than that. If it is a time device, if it says Dial of Destiny, maybe like you can go back and change a decision that you made. You know, like making Crystal Skull.
Where it's going to be like the end of Deadpool 2, where he just retcons the fact that Crystal Skull didn't happen, that Mutt Williams is dead.
That's right.
He was never born.
He was never born.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves. I think you and I are on the same page where they haven't really given us a whole lot to go on. We have not read into this. We have not watched every single trailer and looked at every interview. We've kind of been keeping ourselves fresh. So let's do it. We're going to go and watch Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and we will be right back. And we're back. That was the fifth and probably final Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Trent, how are you feeling after that one?
We were right.
What were we right about, Trent?
Time travel.
What? You were also right that they killed Mutt Williams.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's really kind of sad in the context of the movie, but
of how he died,
the fact that you actually predicted that that's what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. But yes,
he wasn't like gonna go off and be at college or like have his own family by this time. No.
We're another like 10, 15 years removed from the last one.
Yep.
I don't remember exactly how long it was in between. I didn't catch any years in this one, but maybe I wasn't paying attention.
Well, you can infer a lot of things. So the celebration in the present, as it were, was July of 1969 because that was right after we came back from the moon.
The moon landing. So yes, we have firmly set Indiana Jones in a time where he is an old man stuck in the past while the entire world, at least the entirety of America, is looking to the sky and looking to the future because we just landed on the moon.
Yeah, we're not looking to the past anymore. He is retiring. No one wants to hear about archaeology anymore.
He's slow and boring, and everyone's just
He's an old man.
Everyone's over it. They don't care.
Yeah.
And we find out that not only is Mutt Williams, his son, now dead because he enlisted in the military, and again, late 60s.
What could possibly be happening?
What could be happening
in the late 60s?
So he's dead, and because of this grief, Marion is divorcing Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
So he is just a crotchety sad old man.
Kind of a dark opening to that whole chapter, but that's not where the movie begins, Betsy.
It doesn't. So we begin where one must at the beginning in World War II.
Yep.
And we get a long, God, what was that, like 20, 30 minutes? That was a long opening.
It was a long opening.
Where we are at the end of World War II. Germany is like lost.
Yeah.
They're shutting down shop.
They're in the process of losing the war. Hitler has retreated and it's about to be over. But a lot of his lieutenants are still fighting.
They're doing their jobs.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of this relic looting, which there was at that time.
Absolutely.
You know, that movie we watched that's not very good, The Monuments Men, is all about the guys in America.
I don't remember watching this movie.
We did. I promise you we did.
All right.
We went in the theater to that one.
Jesus.
But they're trying to rescue all of the arts and artifacts. Yeah. And this is from the other perspective where they have just stolen it and they've got a train full of goods. And they're after an artifact, the Lance of Lingus.
I saw it as Leonidas. That's from a different kind of Greek history.
It literally doesn't matter because it's a fake.
Yeah.
They don't explain what it does, why we're after it, why anybody cares.
Well,
it's just another thing they're collecting for the Fuhrer.
Again, it is another reference to religious iconography and whatever else, because the real thing was the thing that stabbed Jesus while he's up on the cross.
Yeah, because that's a thing that we have. I don't know.
I mean, it's in Christian history, I would imagine.
Well, yes, but how many actual artifacts can be proven as real? That's the whole thing. But
I know.
It's like everything else in this movie. You just have to take it on faith. In this one, it is a fake, though. And so we're introduced to the dial.
Right.
But it takes a little while to get there because first we see Indy doing the thing he always does, which is pretending to be a German officer.
And punching Nazis.
Because in 2023, we need to constantly be reminding people that Nazis are bad.
Yes.
They're bad.
That is the stance of this podcast, Never Seen It. Nazis equal bad.
It's not complicated.
It's not that hard.
No.
For fuck's sake.
And Indiana Jones is the poster child for that message.
Yeah.
So we have this introduction that is set in the 40s, and we have a scene with a de-aged Harrison Ford.
Yeah, and we knew this was going to happen.
It's in the trailer.
We saw it in the trailer.
Know.
We knew it was going to be either, hey, he time traveled his body through history. No, this is just a flashback.
This is literally how we got to the main plot later. You need a little bit of introduction to the device.
Yeah, and you can't just have 100-year-old Harrison Ford reprising his role.
Okay, to be fair, he's not 100, but he is like 80-something.
Close enough.
He's close enough. But he's closer to 100 than you and I.
Yeah, and again, we saw this coming, and Betsy, they're not there yet. They're still not there yet. In like very tiny motions, and when he's not speaking, it looks uncanny.
Every time they do this in a movie, it is fine when they are still. Mm-hmm. The second they speak, all of the tension in the muscles disappears.
It's like it's all liquefied.
And they went really far to the point that he is hung up on a noose, and even the noose is fake. Mm-hmm. It just looked really cheesy. Like we couldn't put like just a little more of the budget into this animation.
Or you're telling me it's not even budget. It is just the technology doesn't exist.
It literally
this
is as good as it gets.
So far. I mean, technology will get better. It has. Like, think about the first time you saw that, like years and years and years ago. The first time you saw a de-aged person on screen. It looked a lot worse than what this did. So it's come a long way.
I think part of it is the thing that really bothered me about The Irishman was it was actually Robert De Niro, who's 400 years old, pretending to be 25, but he moved like an old man because it was his body. This, I don't think, was Harrison Ford in this part of the movie.
Doing the stunts.
Not the whole time anyway.
Doing the stunts, definitely not.
Because he didn't move like an old man.
Yeah, and he moved and looked like Indiana Jones.
So I think they had a body double for parts of it.
Absolutely.
And then they just did the thing where they draw dots and they used a lot of archive footage and they made it look like young Indiana Jones.
Sure.
Were they also changing his voice to make him sound younger? Because
I don't think so. He sounded older.
He did, and then there were times where he didn't. And I don't know if that's just an energy thing because I'm so used to grumpy old man Harrison Ford, where he's just sort of down here and grumbly, that when he actually got animated, I was like, oh, this is the guy I remember.
Sounds like Harrison Ford as I know him,
But I don't know. I just kind of was wondering if they did a little, because you can do that with AI too. You can change the tenor of someone's voice, make it sound, that's the whole deep fake thing is, I can make it sound like this guy.
Yeah, and I don't really know what the bylaws are when it comes to the Screen Actors Guild. Like, they're literally still striking over the use of AI when it comes to writing. Now, the SAG people are also in the middle of a possible strike, and that's also going to be a part of it. AI is going to be a huge topic going forward in Hollywood, whether it be writing or actors or voiceover work. It's just going to be a thing.
It's their image and their persona and their voice, and there's so much archive footage for some of these people that it could be done.
Yeah, just look at what is going out on like Instagram. Like you show me some stuff where like long dead singers are singing "Baby Got Back."
You mean Elvis Presley singing Baby Got Back?
Exactly. And it sounds really good. It's not all the way there yet, but it's getting there.
It sounds like a guy who does a good Elvis impression.
A very good Elvis impression.
Doing Baby Got Back.
Yeah.
But it's AI, so I don't know.
We're way off topic here, but I don't think they redid the voice for that. I just think that's him.
But I agree. It looked good at moments. It didn't look great overall.
It looked surprisingly good in a couple of different moments, but again, as soon as they're like focusing in on his face and he's talking, it just looks all warbly.
Yeah, it looked forced and strange.
Yeah.
And they do the same thing to Mads Mikkelsen, where he is de-aged, but it's not to the degree that you're trying to make him look like Harrison Ford did 40 years ago.
I mean, Mads Mikkelsen just kind of looks like him.
Yeah,
I don't think he looks younger.
That's what I'm saying is they don't need to do that for Mads Mikkelsen because the audience doesn't know what he looked like 40 years ago. For Indiana Jones, you kind of have to.
You're right.
Everyone has this perception of this is who he would be in 1945.
Right.
But Mads Mikkelsen, they did de-age him. Like, they gave him more... I think his hair is mostly brown still, but they probably made it a little darker, and they smoothed out some of his wrinkles. So the problem is just that. And even that, if you're looking at him really closely, is like,
Yeah.
Don't love it. But...
I don't want to keep talking about that whole thing, but the opening sequence is pretty good. I mean, it's him back on a train.
He's punching Nazis. There's machine guns.
There's like quippy lines of him going through all the different train cars, and by the end, they're up on top of the train, and there's this fucking anti-air gun attached to the top of the train car, and it's trying to shoot the planes out of the air, but by the end, the plane gets them, and as all the Nazis are crawling outside of the train like insects, guess what happens?
They go around a curve, and then all the Nazis get taken out one at a time.
Thank you for that.
Yes, that was an inventive scene, and this movie is actually pretty good as far as the action goes. I think they were inventive, but not over the top.
And they didn't repeat themselves.
They didn't. And the other thing that I noticed, Trent, they used real sets and real cars and real people for the majority. The opening sequence is the exception, I think, because you're on a moving train. That's a really hard stunt to do for real.
Sure.
I'll forgive you for that. But the rest of them, when they're doing car chases in Morocco and they're doing motorcycle chases and airplanes, for the most part, it felt very real.
Except there was one moment near the end when they're on their, I don't even know what the hell you call it, the little cart that they're driving.
I can't remember what it's called. It's like a tick, tick, a tack, tack. There was a double word there.
But when they're like going way down the stairs and they're kind of bumping and bumping and bumping, when they get to the very bottom and it stops suddenly, you can see that, okay, that didn't actually happen.
There are moments...
That was completely CG'd.
Where Harrison Ford has been beat up enough making all these movies. Let's do what we can to not injure him further.
Let's not break his legs again.
It's happened a few times.
Yeah. The end of that sequence is introducing the concept of this dial, and we're getting a history lesson here, Betsy. Archimedes is what was he, Greek?
A Greek inventor.
Inventor, mathematician, he was one of those guys from
Ahead of his time.
Yeah, from back in the Pythagoras era, shit like that. I remember history.
Ancient civilizations.
Yeah.
Yes. At the dawn of men thinking ahead of their time.
Right.
And this device is something that existed. It's basically the original computer.
Right.
And they did use it for things like predicting weather and when are comets going to reappear.
Yeah.
Things that they just needed more complicated calculations to figure out than they could do in their heads.
Sure. And it's not this, like, apparatus like they depicted here, because this is just all made up.
No, this is again...
Like, this is the age of the fucking abacus.
It's a fucking movie, guys.
Yeah.
So let's just get to it then. The device is invented by Archimedes
Yeah.
to travel through time. It can predict rips in the time continuum.
Time fissures.
Time fissures.
Sure.
And you can put in your destination and the time you want to be there, and it will take you there. So that's the plot of Indiana Jones.
Time travel.
Have we jumped the shark, Trent? Or were you on board by the time you got to it because you kind of figured
I
that's
knew
where
that's what it was
going
going to happen. We've already had fucking aliens, Betsy. I'm beyond any kind of like, oh my god, I can't believe they did this. Come on, there is no other place to go.
Not really. Not that would be worthy of doing a movie like this in 2023. Like, why?
Yeah.
What possible adventure could we do? We need to find some closure for Indiana Jones.
And if him discovering the fact that aliens exist in the 1950s, if that didn't completely blow everybody's mind by him going out there and telling people about it, discovering time travel isn't going to either.
Except technically he didn't discover it. Archimedes discovered it.
Did he use it?
Well, they suggested he did, but apparently he didn't. Instead, he made a loop. He basically made a loop where he couldn't figure out his own device.
Yeah.
So it's a chicken and an egg situation where
Sure.
he left the parts for someone else to find so that he would get help to create his own invention in the future.
Thanks to the Nazis.
We are not giving them any credit.
Betsy, he left his watch there.
He did, but he just wore it because it looked cool.
I'm sure he would have been able to figure it out. He wore it on his wrist.
I guess, if it still worked, it did go through a horrific plane crash.
That's true. It looked kind of fucked up.
Well,
Yeah, he could fix it,
listen,
maybe.
when they showed him his dead body in his tomb and they show the watch,
Yeah.
you don't show a close-up of the watch and then immediately show Mads Mikkelsen putting on a watch and not realize it's the same watch.
Yeah.
Like, come on. It isn't that complicated to figure out.
It's really not.
And like every other Indiana Jones movie, the villain is done in by hubris.
Yeah, pretty much. And I mean, it is kind of a cliche of like the bad guys following the good guys to try to find out where the MacGuffin is, and they follow them there, and then they threaten them with guns, and then they take it for themselves. We've seen this movie many, many times.
Oh yeah, when they get to the actual other half of the device,
Yeah.
all I kept thinking was, why are they following them in there? They could just wait. Why do they always have to go in? Like, just sit there and
Maybe
they'll come
there's
back
another
out.
exit. I don't know.
I guess. But the Nazis unfortunately do succeed. They get the device. And what is the thing everyone always says they'll do if they had the ability to travel through time?
He does the thing.
He does the thing. They're gonna kill Hitler.
Yeah, but they're not going to kill like baby Hitler or anything like that. They're going to travel back in time, kill Hitler, and take over because they have the benefit of hindsight and know where Hitler went wrong.
And they don't like losing. So his whole thing is not
Yeah.
that
You
America
you
won.
never won the war. Hitler lost the war.
Specifically Hitler.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, which once you've seen the end of the movie, you understand what he means earlier. He says, you didn't win, Hitler lost.
right.
Not Germany, not the military, just Hitler the man.
A sentiment that is still shared for a lot of different fucking fascists out there.
Yeah. So that is what we're trying to achieve once we get to that point of the movie.
Yeah.
These guys are after the device because they want to kill Hitler. What?
They want to live in a world where the Nazis won World War II. That's what they want.
Yeah.
They cannot accept the fact that this grand plan made by the Nazis and Hitler failed. That's it.
Fair enough. So I have a question about Mads Mikkelsen's character.
All right.
At the beginning, he's kind of a mousy, derpy scientist. Like, he's not willing to really speak up. He's very hesitant and reserved. And then he goes to Mega Mind. Like, did you notice this arc? It's kind of dramatic for me, the way he started to, I'm gonna go kill Hitler.
So you're saying from the beginning, the beginning sequence.
So in the very beginning of the movie, did you find
where they're
him...
talking about the spear and everything else, all of the other artifacts.
Did you find him to be villainous? Or was he just also there?
I mean, I didn't really understand why he was there in the first place.
He's the scientist who is helping them with these devices, I guess.
A scientist of what?
He said he was a physicist.
What would a physicist need to be there for on a train full of antiquities?
I don't know.
That's my question here. Why is he even there?
Or a mathematician. He was something like that. He's not a historian. He is not anything else. They do make a comment about how he helped them with the rockets. That I think that was probably bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, I think about fucking the history of World War II, or even in the Cold War, when, especially in the 60s, scientists who were working on rockets for the space program were then repurposed for missiles and nukes and shit like that.
And a lot of them were German. They took a lot of the German scientists after World War II and said, congratulations, you're an American now.
Right. Help us build this bomb.
Yeah. The bomb, the missiles, Cold War shit.
But, like, I don't really know, again, what he was doing there. He had this, like, idea about the dial, but like Hitler and the other people were not allowing him to pursue this.
They weren't interested.
They're trying to go after all these artifacts because they think that they all had power.
But that's what I'm saying, is he's very like, okay, so that thing was a fake, and I know it's a fake.
Right.
But what about this thing? I have an idea too. Is it because he doesn't want to say, Hitler is wrong, you are wrong, let me tell you the right thing? I don't know, he's just very different there.
Yeah.
And then 20 years removed.
After, you know what it was, Betsy? He got hit in the head with that water thing on top on top of the train.
He suffered brain damage.
And that's what did it.
A personality disorder because he got the frontal lobe completely smashed in.
He got jostled a bit.
He did. Okay, I will give you that. Fair enough. He's now angry and he is resentful of the Nazis and Hitler and Indiana Jones. And time.
And he's waited fucking decades
stewing about it.
In order to what? I don't know why he's in this hotel waiting for Indiana Jones. Like, who set all this up?
The CIA. Here's another element I would like clarification on.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not bullshit that he invented the rockets that sent them to the moon. It felt like it because it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And he's using a fake name. And
he did. He did help NASA to create the rockets.
But
that
how
got
do
him
you
to the
know?
moon.
That's what his goon said.
No, the CIA people did that.
Oh,
did
they specifically say that?
Yes, they did. Like, hey, you helped us out get to the moon, and we're kind of placating you by allowing you to pursue this dial thing.
Okay, I missed that.
Because you helped us with this.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Yes.
Like, why was the CIA involved at all?
Yeah.
I was just not understanding why they would be helping this guy. And then he literally says, like, this is my real name, like this big reveal.
Sure.
So that's why I'm wondering if there's this kind of, did he go and assume an alias, or did he kill somebody and take their place? Like, how did he end up in this situation?
I mean, he's definitely smart, so he would have the skills to do this. But again, he probably did just change his name in order to just say, hey, I'm a smart guy. I'm going to help you out with this rockets. But hey, by the way, you're going to help me with this other thing that nobody else knows about.
Yeah, tit for tat.
Yeah.
All right, so that's our bad guy. That's the device. We know we have half of it, and that is where we kind of leave the opening scene, is Indy ends up with it, and he's got a buddy there who's played by Toby Jones, who is another one of those really great character actors.
He is.
That doesn't get enough praise, but you have absolutely seen him in about 15 things.
Yeah, he's in the MCU.
He's in Doctor Who. He's in, the first thing I saw him in was actually Ever After. 1998.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, he's got a bit part in that, but he's memorable.
Yeah.
once you've seen his face, once you remember him as an actor, he's hard to forget. But he is Phoebe Waller-Bridge's dad.
Yes.
And he becomes obsessed with the dial, and Indy ends up taking it away from him because he's like, it is literally driving you insane.
Mm-hmm.
And he says he's going to destroy it, but of course, Indiana Jones does not destroy things.
It belongs in a museum.
It belongs in a museum.
He says it. He says the line again.
And it's so weird how throughout this 5-movie series, he is sometimes totally willing and capable of smashing the crap out of ruins, and then other times he's like, I can't do it, I have to store it away.
Well, like in this archives at the college, he completely destroys all of the things on those shelves.
He got rid of all of that stuff that would
Yeah.
have taken probably decades for that college to put together.
Yeah.
And just because he needed to get away, and then he didn't fucking get away.
No, he still got captured. All those other people still got killed.
It's a good thing he retired already, because he was going to get fired.
Yep.
That is my 2 cents on it.
To say nothing about the fact that they didn't clear up the whole I'm wanted for murder thing.
There's sometimes plot devices
Jesus.
like that. It's kind of like the whole plot of the second National Treasure movie, where there's a conspiracy.
Second time we brought this up during this series.
I'm just going to say, okay, the whole plot of that movie is I have the missing page from the Booth diary, and this says your great-great-granddaddy's name, and it proves he's a conspirator in the Lincoln assassination. And it's
Sure.
this whole convoluted thing, and then they go on this mission. The whole movie is them trying to clear their great-great-grandfather's name.
Yeah.
That's it. That's kind of what this is, where he's wanted for murder, so he has to go and find the device to prove his innocence.
He has to go and prove that time travel exists.
Obviously.
In order to clear his name over murders that he clearly did not commit.
Also, did you notice her body moved? The woman who was shot first, she was in a different place. I kid you not.
I did not notice that, no.
Okay, they were in the hallway.
Yes.
And she got shot in the back and went down. And then the other professor came out, or the dean or whoever he was.
Uh-huh.
He was like, what's going on here? And then they shot him in the same spot. When Indy came out, he found the guy, and then he went around the corner and he found the woman's body.
Right, that's where she was.
They were right next to each other. They were not separated by several feet.
Nitpicky. I don't care.
I am gonna be.
don't care.
I'm gonna be nitpicky.
I don't
I
care.
noticed it and it bothered me, so I'm bringing it up.
Fine.
But yeah, it's the whole thing about she got the device. I need to follow her to get it back, and then it just snowballs into we have to find this other artifact, and then we have to find a tomb, and then we
Well,
have to find the other half of the artifact.
Well, and she also reveals herself as, hey, I don't care about antiquity. I just care about money.
She's in it for the money,
Yeah.
not the science.
Oh, there's a Twister reference for everybody. But yes, we find out she has a past, Betsy.
Yeah, she's not the good little girl who
Right.
he used to know.
Right.
She basically was left alone to her devices. Her godfather didn't give her a guiding hand. She took the knowledge that her father gave her and chose a life of crime.
Sure. And really, she just discovered the things that he was already working on and sold them instead of putting them in a museum like Indiana Jones wanted to.
Yeah, she does the history, she does the research, she finds the artifact, but then she cashes in.
Yeah. But she also gets involved with some shady people and racks up a lot of debt and gets a reputation about her and then gets engaged to somebody who then tries to kill her.
But he loves her so much he chases her through the streets first.
With a machete.
Yeah. Or saber. I think it was a saber.
Okay, fine.
So we're on the topic of Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I think she was great in this movie. They let her do the thing that she's really, really good at, which is smart, funny, independent woman.
She's Lara Croft. That's how I see her as.
Without the booty shorts.
Sure. I mean, the newer Lara Croft games actually the Tomb Raider games, I'm saying, they got rid of that whole shtick about her. I mean, it was the 90s by putting her in the booty shorts and the pointy boobs and everything like that. That went away. So this takes it even further away from that in saying, hey, you know what? I'm this adventurer, I'm this Tomb Raider, and I'm out for myself. I'm not going to throw this in a museum. I'm going to get rich.
Yeah, and she's good at it too.
Yeah.
She's also good at playing people, which is why she's able to just talk her way into Indiana Jones's life and say, you don't remember me. Well, this is who I am, and this is what I know, and gets him to just give it to her like that easily.
Sure.
And then when they actually go to Morocco, he's able to find her.
Yeah.
And they have to team up because that's what happens in these movies, Trent. Nobody can do this on their own. You have to work together to get your goals accomplished.
And before we leave this place, I just want to mention, I think the funniest moment is at the end of the auction scene where the dial is being tossed around and stolen away and tossed around, whatever is happening. Indiana Jones takes out his whip and is like whipping it around and everybody's ducky and is like, stand back!
Get away!
Get away from me! And then everybody pulls out their guns. It's the greatest moment in that movie.
And he has to hit the deck.
Yeah. Of course, a callback to the first one.
There's a lot of callbacks. There's a lot of humor in this movie. There's the time I don't remember where it is, where he's giving her a lecture about what she's doing. I think it's maybe right after that scene. And she says, I don't need lessons in morality from an old grave robber or something. An
aging grave robber, I think is the
aging grave
thing.
robber.
Yeah.
So he calls out, like, when he does it, it's okay, but when I do it, it's bad. Like, I don't see the difference. It's because he's going to give his stuff to the museum.
Yeah.
But he usually still gets a paycheck.
Yeah, he spent his life trying to collect things for the universities at which he is teaching, but he's also doing it to continue on his legend, if you will.
His notoriety.
Yes, everybody knows Indiana Jones in those original movies.
But not anymore. Like, even the CIA agent who's like,
Who's this guy?
Give
Henry
me a
Jones?
file. Give me a file. This guy? You fucking kidding me?
Right.
Yeah, they've all forgotten who he is. But getting back to Phoebe Waller-Bridge, she also has a short round in this movie. She has Teddy, the kid with her in Morocco, who's a pickpocket.
Yeah.
And they have like a similar story, how she got together with this kid, paired up with this kid, to where Indy paired up with Short Round. He was trying to steal some shit from him.
It's like, hey, you're good at this. I'm gonna recruit you.
Yeah, and they've been together ever since. It's the same story. So they're basically writing a younger female version of Indiana Jones.
Yeah, and the only thing that I wish would have happened here is if Indiana Jones mentioned Short Round at all. By name or just by, hey, I used to have a little kid like you following me around.
I'm kind of glad he didn't, but I also, like you kind of wish he did. Like, he is the only character that hasn't come back that you'd almost expect to at this point.
Yeah.
Especially after the year Kiwi Kwan had.
Yeah, and that this movie was made probably a year or two ago.
They could have just shoved him in there somewhere. They found a way to get John Rhys Davies in, and he didn't really need to be in this.
2 scenes.
Well, I was right about that too, but
yeah.
Again, he didn't need to be here, but we need to remind you, hey, he still has friends. People still remember who he is.
Sure.
And it's just another reminder of, here are my grandkids. They have no idea who you are.
Sure.
And Antonio Banderas shows up for a few scenes.
Name me another actor who has a bigger name, who has done more minor roles in movies. Antonio Banderas is a giant star.
Recently, he has been doing a lot of these weird, like, why is Antonio Banderas here?
Yeah, that's a huge name, and you're just throwing him in your movie for like 5 minutes. For nothing.
Like, he's good in it.
No character development whatsoever. He's a guy that Indiana Jones knows from Sicily, right?
Except he's a Spaniard. He's just in Sicily.
Right. What's up with that?
He's speaking Spanish. His whole crew is Spanish, but he is a diver in Spain.
Sure.
But who's actually in Greece now.
1969 scuba diver.
Yeah. And then he gets shot and he's out of the movie.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's that thing where we need somebody and let's make it someone you know so you actually care when he gets shot, I suppose.
Maybe?
I feel like that's the only reason to have a name, because if it was just some guy, you wouldn't really care as much. Like, oh, his friend got shot, that sucks. But when it's Antonio Banderas got shot, well, that sucks.
Maybe? I don't really know what the psychology is there, because he was barely a factor.
Yeah, they needed it for an emotional arc, I guess.
Also, he's kind of unrecognizable.
He is much more gray, and he's got a beard, and he's dressed like a dirty sailor.
Right, I've never seen him look like that.
I have seen him more recently with like the big beard, but it's new that he's pretty gray.
Yeah.
Speaking of being gray, Harrison Ford is like white.
Yes.
White hair in this movie. So he is definitely showing his age.
Speaking of showing off, Betsy, I didn't think it was possible, but Harrison Ford had his shirt off yet again. At the beginning of this sequence in the present, he is sleeping on the chair with the TV on.
In his boxers.
In his underwear. Could not look more pathetic. And he is awoken by this 8 a.m. concert happening next door.
Someone's blasting the Beatles in the next apartment.
Yeah.
Shut up. Turn it down.
Turn it down.
And he puts on a Chicago Cubs t-shirt, which they only mention it. I don't even think they do in the original trilogy where he is from, but Harrison Ford is originally from like the Chicago area.
Yes.
So they have kind of made that a part of his character.
I mean,
this is the most obvious time they've done it.
What would Harrison Ford be doing in 1969?
He was acting.
How old was he?
He was acting already.
In Chicago or in Hollywood?
I don't know. That would have been on the cusp, but think about when he did American Graffiti. That was a few years after this, so he was probably already out in Hollywood.
Maybe.
Trying
I
to
don't
make
remember.
it.
I've seen some interviews with him where he talks about he and his wife sold everything that they had, threw everything into the car, and drove west.
Yeah, this would have probably been about the time.
Yeah.
In 1969-ish.
Just to expand on that, the story is he and his wife flipped a coin to decide either I'm going to go east to act in New York and on Broadway, or I'm going to go west and try to make it in Hollywood. And he flipped it, and it came up whatever to go east. And then he said, how about 2 out of 3? And it came up west the next couple of times, and then they went to Hollywood because he really didn't want to go to New York.
See, I believe that story a lot more than the one I heard where a lot of people, he went to college in Wisconsin. That is a fact. But a lot of people like to say he went to my college for a little while, which is not the one he actually went to. I think he went to Ripon or somewhere.
Okay.
There was some story that someone told where he knew people or he went to my school in Wisconsin.
Maybe he hung out there
and he let cows loose in the dorm. Like, it was this insane story. I was like, I don't really think that's true.
That's one of those games of telephone where people start adding things to
urban
this.
legend.
Yeah. Anyway, we're way off topic.
All right, let's talk about some of the actual action scenes. So at the beginning of the movie, we had like bombs flying into this building and falling through the floor in a humorous way, and then explosions. We had a train chase. Always one of the things that bothers me, when people are walking on the train, if there are people on the train, can't they hear you walking on the train?
Yes, there was even one moment where Mads Mikkelsen looked up. There's like glass windows surrounding it, and he could see people up there.
Okay, because I was trying to figure out, has no one ever noticed the sound?
Trains are loud, especially back in the 40s.
I suppose there was no soundproofing in those days.
But they also had, before all that, they had another chase in the woods.
They did.
Have you noticed this?
A theme.
I think at least 3 of these movies, there is a car chase or some kind of chase in the woods.
Or in the wilderness of some kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a common theme. And the little motorcycle with the sidecar, that comes up a lot.
Yeah. And the thing I always think about, especially when we're talking about George Lucas, because he was another producer on this movie, I think of Return of the Jedi, where on Endor, they have the chase in the woods on those speeder bikes.
Oh my God. I never considered that correlation.
Yeah.
Not ever. In almost 40 years on this planet.
A chase on vehicles in the jungle.
You just blew my little mind. I never thought about that, but you're right. There is a lot of similarity there, and people are hitting trees, and there's a lot of explosions.
And there's always a vehicle of some kind.
You're crazy. You're blowing my mind. All right, what else did we have? In New York, they're having a parade for all the astronauts who are actually there. Like, they show the 3 astronauts.
Right, they're
like,
at the front of the parade.
Confused by a man on a cop horse.
A cop horse. That's what I wrote down, cop horse.
And Indy is riding a horse through New York and then into the subway.
Uh-huh.
And like, again, this is in the trailer, and I know he's gonna survive. It's Indiana Jones.
Course.
But I was getting very anxious for the horse. He's just riding. And then, of course, in his way, he hands the horse's reins to a guy and says, take my horse.
Right.
Subway's faster.
Hold my horse.
Hold my horse. Subway's faster.
And Betsy, I wrote down this thing where I don't think I've ever seen in a movie a chase during a parade. Like a police chase or a bad guy chasing after a good guy, anything like that.
You have in another Harrison Ford movie.
What's that?
In The Fugitive. Remember, it's the St. Patrick's Day parade.
Yeah, but he's trying to be inconspicuous.
It's mostly like what you've probably seen is pushing your way through a crowd.
Yes.
Not actual like guns and horses
right.
and cars.
He's fucking blazing it through that crowd.
I would have to do a reference check to know if that exists elsewhere. I have to imagine someone has done it.
I'm just saying I've never seen it before.
Fair enough. That's the whole point of this podcast, Trent.
It's just something that I thought was interesting. Like, man, they really did this up, didn't they? This is cool.
Again, these were creative chases. One of the other feats they have to accomplish is they figure out that there is a grid, a code. There's something that is on a ship that has sunk down in this big 70-foot ditch in the water.
Sure.
I don't know what you call it.
It's a decryption device that goes along with the dial.
That will help you find the other half of the dial.
Yeah.
And so there's this whole sequence where they're diving. And you're right, it was 1969 diving equipment, which was janky as shit. Because people hadn't really explored the wonderful world of diving equipment yet.
Dangerous stuff.
Yeah, they had very antiquated equipment at this time. And Antonio Banderas is there for comedic relief. I have a foolproof method. You get down fast, 3 minutes, and then up you go.
No bends.
You won't get the bends. And I like that the way they get up is they inflate a life vest and it
you go
shoots
shooting
them.
up. And that is a way to really, really get the bends.
He's very smart. He's so good.
Well, that's the thing. They didn't go down that far because you can't go down that far.
Not with the equipment that they had.
Right.
No. But they did down there have eels.
Yeah.
So instead of snakes in this one, we got eels.
Somebody had to say it, and the kid did. They kind of look like snakes. No, they don't.
After that scene when they actually decipher the text, she has a stick of dynamite and, blows up the boat and they escape on the other boat.
Yeah.
So that was a fun scene where she's just like waxing and being brilliant and marching about the place, but sneakily pocketing a stick of dynamite. I liked that scene.
I did too. I just don't understand why the boat didn't sink. 'Cause it's a stick of fucking dynamite in the bottom of the boat.
'Cause reasons.
Thank you. Thank you.
They've also got the chase scene in Morocco. We already talked about that one a little bit. They have a chase scene near the end of the movie in Greece where the bad guys are getting on a plane. And I was like, is this going to be the airport in the Fast and the Furious?
That's what I was thinking.
400-mile airway. No, it took off pretty quickly, but it was in the rain and it's an old-timey plane and they're all dressed like old-timey Nazis and they fly up and through a big void in the sky.
A crack in the sky.
And then the last sequence when they get through there, it's not so much an action scene, but a battle because they time travel to the Battle of Syracuse where the Romans are fucking up the Greek.
Yeah.
And there's boats, and there's balls of flame, and giant arrows.
214 BC.
Yeah, a nice recent time for us to explore.
Yes. Yeah, and right before that, Betsy, I just have to say, I don't think, again, another first for a movie, Harrison Ford just exclaims, "Continental drift!"
Because he figured out their hubris and the thing that they weren't considering, Trent. And isn't that a thing you yell twice a day? Continental drift, out of context with no prompting.
It's like one of George Carlin's jokes. It's like some of these words that you will never ever exclaim loudly. Topography.
But yeah, he figures out Archimedes didn't know about continental drift.
Yes.
And this is one of those fascinating things you and I don't consider that much. But where people were in space and time, even on planet Earth,
Yes.
in 200 whatever BC, to now, the coordinates, that coordinate is the same, but what's on it is different.
Exactly. It may have, like you said, it may have just changed a little bit, but over 2,000 years, it's important when you're trying to get accurate math done.
Which he doesn't, and as a scientist, he should have known that.
Right.
But he panicked too late. Like, he yells continental drift.
Right, and he gets that idea from the shit moving around on the plane floor.
Yeah, it's like any brilliant moment when the character has the scientific breakthrough.
Yeah.
They're just observing something mundane around them. To bring it back to Twister, it's when they're looking at the wind blowing the wind chimes or whatever.
Yes.
Like, I figured it out. I understand science all of a sudden.
Best science movie ever. Twister.
Not true, but... Well, Trent, I think we're getting pretty well through this movie. So I know I want to talk about some of the callbacks to the rest of the series.
Okay.
But do you have any other moments you want to talk about before we get to that?
Well, one thing I appreciated was during the parade, coming up the rear of the parade is a protest.
Of course.
Against the Vietnam War.
1969, baby.
1969, the summer of love. That time period was very important to American history, as it turns out.
Well, and if you've already shut down the streets, why not just join the parade?
Exactly.
This is a public event.
Yeah. And of course, Harrison Ford joins in saying, "Hell no, we won't go," or and stuff like that.
To create a distraction,
Yeah.
and it works.
No war, and he just punches another guy.
And he steals a sign and
Yep.
hits somebody with it.
Yep, I appreciated all that. And the last thing was another thing that I've never seen before in a movie. Teddy, the kid, hot-wired a plane.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen somebody hotwire a plane.
Is it necessary? Is there a key? I don't really know how
I mean,
planes
there
work.
was a key thing right there that he pulled off the console.
I guess. Yeah, you must just start it like a
I mean,
car.
it's basically
It's
like
an
it's a
engine.
lawnmower engine in a plane like that.
It just unlocks it so you can actually push the buttons. I
don't know.
I am not a pilot. I do not know
I'm not
aviation.
a planologist.
It's a planographer.
That was all I had. I just wanted to talk about the things that I've never seen before.
Fair enough. All right, so there were lots of moments sprinkled throughout this movie
Yeah.
that were related to the original series.
Referencing back.
Yes. So in the opening scene, well, I guess the scene where we first are introduced to him as an old man.
Yeah, the present.
In his apartment, they did have a picture of Mutt on the wall, on the mantle, and he was in a military uniform. So we didn't know what happened to him at that moment, but they did at least have a picture of him there.
Yeah.
And I think it was in a frame with Sean Connery. I think those were the two pictures there.
Okay.
Then next to it, there was a religious iconography, a picture. It's the thing that was hanging over the fireplace at his dad's house of Jesus on the cross at the crucifixion. It's
Okay.
specifically the one that was in his house in
All right.
Last Crusade.
All right.
And I am sure there are lots more, like in his apartment, in his office,
Yeah.
little things hiding the background.
Yeah.
They do the map thing. You
Yeah.
you kept yelling at me, they travel by map.
They travel by map, which is a reference to the movie The Muppets.
It's just so much more efficient. But yeah, they have to go from New York to Morocco
Yeah.
to Sicily to Greece.
Yeah, it
They're
zooms
hopping
all the way
around.
out, and they have this animation of them going by map. It's in every single Indiana Jones movie.
They had to. They have the fucking punching sound.
Yep.
The iconic punching sound.
They also had, I'm gonna say it, Katie, I'm gonna say they also had Star Wars sounds when the
Oh,
plane
no.
was going down. It's the same sounds.
The crashing sound.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay.
Or like the sputtering engine sounds.
Sorry, Lucasfilm was involved in this
Skywalker
movie.
sound.
Skywalker sound. They're gonna use what they got. There's a scene in the temple, I guess the tomb
Yeah.
in this one,
Yeah.
where he's climbing a wall, a rock face, and he's 40 feet up, pondering his own existence.
Right.
Because he's complaining about his body, and he specifically calls out when he had to drink the blood of Kali,
Right.
when he was tortured by voodoo,
Yep.
when when he's been shot 9 times, once including your father.
Right.
Yeah, there's that.
Mainly talking about Temple of Doom.
Mostly talking about Temple of Doom, which I don't think he has ever brought up in another one of these.
And that's the one that happens way in the past.
That's the first adventure.
Yeah.
When you put them chronologically.
Yeah. But before we leave this part, I wanted to say something about the tomb
Okay.
of Archimedes. When I retire, I want to spend my entire fortune and my time making an elaborate tomb much like this. Did you also notice in there were a bunch of mirrors? Because Archimedes was also obsessed with that whole thing.
It's an ancient mirror trend.
Right.
It's an ancient Egyptian trick you'll see. Sorry,
Exactly.
that's a mummy reference.
It is a mummy reference, but that's what I want to do. I want to create this giant tomb where you have to solve a bunch of puzzles in order to come visit me.
I really hope I die before you, so I don't have to execute this in your will, because this is going to be some bullshit.
I got nothing but time, Betsy.
You have nothing but time. You're dead. I'm the one that has to build you a mausoleum that requires puzzles to get into.
I just have to. I'll make it. I'll make a cheat sheet for you, and you can get in.
Okay,
but I'm gonna make
the cheat sheet. It's gonna be a brick, a gold sphere.
Yep.
Encased in wood and wax.
Yep.
In a thing at the bottom of the ocean.
Not the bottom of the ocean. I can't swim.
Just drop it.
No, it's going to be in our house. We're going to have this library. You're going to pull this book back. It's going to be this hidden chamber
None of
with
this is
my
happening.
tomb.
Shut up right now.
All right. That's all I had to say about that.
A couple of more things from other movies. It's not so much a callback, but a consistency. They had giant centipedes. You need a creepy crawly.
Yeah, bugs everywhere.
In the last one, it was ants.
Yep.
In this one, it's centipedes and spiders. And it's just this really brief moment. It doesn't make any sense why they're there. They don't explain it.
It doesn't need to be there, but because it's an Indiana Jones movie, all of the other ones had it.
You need to have it.
Now, the one thing it didn't have, this movie, it did not have any kind of gross out, face melting and eyes melting and heads exploding. It didn't have anything like that.
No, it did not. I was thinking about it, and you're right.
I was looking for it. It never happened.
Yeah,
I mean, other than the fact that Mads Mikkelsen's face was all fucked up on the beach.
That's the closest thing.
That's the closest thing.
But it's not so graphic because he's already dead. He's just lying there.
Right.
We didn't see his face skidding on the ground.
Right.
At the end of the movie, we've been talking throughout how Marion, consumed by grief, cannot be with her husband anymore.
Yeah.
Which, that is a pretty common thing for couples that go through something like that.
Yes, marriages rarely survive the death of a child.
It can happen, but this whole thing is understandable.
Sure.
Why they're in this situation. But she comes back because she hears somebody tells her, "Somebody told me you were back." And what she means by that is Indiana Jones. She's been living and married to Henry Jones Jr.,
Right.
the sad old professor. And now he's got a little bit of his spark, and it's enough to at least get her through the door. But she says, I hurt all over. He says something about, I still hurt.
Right.
And he says, where doesn't it hurt? And they do the thing from Raiders where she says, well, God damn it, Indy, tell me where it doesn't hurt. And he points at his elbow, and he points at his shoulder, and he points at his eye, and then he points at his mouth, and then they fuck.
Yeah.
That's what happens in Raiders. And in this one,
I'm sure that's what happens here.
Probably. But this one, it's done in such a sweet way.
It was.
It's calling back where their love kind of started.
Yeah.
And she says, it doesn't hurt here. And then they kiss. And I'm going to be real with you. I was tearing up at this point of the movie.
Oh.
It got to me. And then, of course, it's just the last scene. It's the last adventure. It's all going to be okay for him. He's got his spark back. He's got his love back. Life goes on.
He still has the hat. It's washed and it's drying out on the balcony. And as we are irising out to end the movie and probably end the franchise, Indy grabs the hat.
Yeah, the hand grabs it and off we go.
Yeah.
And we get the dun 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 big John Williams score.
Yeah.
And it's great. So I'm going to tell you right now, this movie, sitting up to this point, has had kind of a middling score on Rotten Tomatoes. The critics specifically.
Yeah. It's like 67, I think.
They've not loved this. The audience score is obviously higher, but, take that with a grain of salt. I would put this movie about in the middle. I think I would place this at number 3 if I was going to rank them.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely better than Crystal Skull. It is absolutely better. And I like it better than Temple of Doom. I think Temple of Doom in ways is a better movie just because he's younger and it's action, but it's so dark that it's really hard to have fun watching that one. I had a lot of fun watching this movie. So I would say ultimately, I don't know what the fuck people are talking about. I had a good time.
I did too. I think this is the movie that should have ended the franchise. It should not have been. Clearly, they knew this going into this movie. They knew that Crystal Skull was not the movie to go out on.
No, it was not.
And it probably really needed to have another director and producer and everybody else coming at this from a completely different perspective and having them do it rather than the people who completely sputtered out in Crystal Skull.
Instead of the old guys who were getting older and just did it to cash a check, it felt like.
Yep.
They got somebody who was a fan of Indiana Jones.
And who understood it.
Who's appreciative of it.
Yeah.
Like, James Mangold has not had a small career by any means.
Sure.
And he has been able to launch, or I guess bring some closure to some really massive series. He did Logan. Like, that was a big deal when that movie came out and ended the way it did.
It's a big task.
It is.
You have how many X-Men movies, how many
Wolverine.
Even Wolverine movies. There are 2 of those standalone movies.
That were not that good. And now it's like, okay, we're going to have old Logan.
I'm not going to have an argument about X-Men Origins Wolverine. I love that movie. Everybody else hates it.
I'm not saying it's the worst movie of all time. I'm just saying if you compare those 2 movies and Logan, there is a difference, and Logan it is the man behind it.
Logan is a fantastic movie, and it was a gigantic task to take this character out and, spoilers, kill him at the very end. Or not, because he's going to be in back. Deadpool 3.
Shut up, we're just going to retcon some shit. Who cares? But yeah, Indiana Jones, it's a similar thing where we have been with this guy for so long, and we all were left kind of with a bad taste in our mouth for Crystal Skull. Crystal Skull is not as bad as everybody wants to believe it is.
No.
It's just not that good. This one, I think, is at least good.
Yeah, it is good. I really enjoyed myself. There were only a very small amount of, like we said when we started talking here, the stuff about Mads Mikkelsen and his backstory and why the hell he's there, what his motivation is. He wants to be the next Hitler. Okay.
Where did that come from?
Right. I mean, you could have said that about any other Nazi, but because you're smart, you're going to find this other artifact that does have magical powers.
Obviously. Time travel.
The final frontier, Betsy.
Well, it's weird because he said the line, the past, what did he say? The past belongs to us.
Yes.
But the thing that I think he wasn't saying that you were meant to think of, the past belongs to us. My brain filled in, but tomorrow belongs to me. Because that is a song from Cabaret that all of the German youth starts singing. It's like, when you put it in context, it's really like a weird German folk song that's very, Aryan youth.
Right. And really what they're talking about here is we, the Third Reich, are going to completely steamroll all over Europe, and that it's going to infect the rest of the world with how we are thinking, saying the world belongs to us. The past will be us, and we're going to change the future. That's the whole idea of Nazism.
Except he fucked it up because he didn't remember Continental Drift.
Continental Drift.
I really hope that once in a while, out of the blue, you or I just yells at each other Continental Drift.
Continental Drift.
I want you to remember this conversation.
Oh, I will.
Because in 2 months' time, on a Thursday afternoon, I'm just going to text you the words Continental Drift, !
All right.
All right. Well, that's it, Trent. We made it through all 5 Indiana Jones movies.
Indy is donezo.
What a ride it has been.
Yeah.
We would love, love, love to hear from you listeners because I know that you, unlike Trent, have seen these movies many, many times.
Yeah.
Save this most recent one, which you probably, like us, have also only seen once.
Yeah, and again, this is not a new movie podcast. We've mentioned this before. We do not expect everybody out there to run out and see it, but we hope that, hey, because we're covering it, that you will, and you can tell us what you thought.
If you saw the other 4, I would be willing to bet you're gonna see this one.
Yeah.
So send us an email, neverseenitpod@gmail.com. We've gotten actually a few emails from different people about this series.
Yeah, we're not going to read all of them right now. We're going to save some of them for later. But
we would be here all night, folks.
And make this long podcast even longer.
But we're going to start with our superfan Stephanie, who sent us an email a while back about Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. So that was number 2 in the series. She begins, "This one is not my favorite. I don't dislike it, but it is very different. It is much darker. I never realized Temple of Doom is a prequel. Weird. It's funny how so many people didn't catch that. They literally they say it right in the beginning of the movie. You just have to remember when the first one takes place.
And it doesn't really matter. I mean, other than the fact that there are no Nazis in that movie.
This is true, but they wouldn't be there yet.
No.
Even if it was a sequel to the first one, depending on how long it was after. Anyway, she continues, "Worst love interest in every way. Best sidekick, bring back Short Round." You see what I'm saying? The people want Short Round.
People are demanding more Short Round.
But we're not going to get it now because it's over and he wasn't there.
Nope.
She goes on, "There is too much going on without having a very strong through line. Indiana Jones is just too strong for anything to burn him. Duh." Oh my God, Trent. Dr. Jones is a grave robber and a phony. LOL.
Yeah.
John Williams is a genius. However, if you go to a John Williams symphony concert, you will absolutely notice how similar some of those songs
I was
sound.
getting Star Wars vibes during this one.
He's got a formula, and you can't fault the man for that, especially
it works.
when you are in your 90s. Let the man do the easy way.
We're not going to see a lot more credits from John Williams, I'm afraid to say.
I don't think so. The last thing you would want is an unfinished score by John Williams.
Yeah.
It would be devastating to have to say, "Oh, hello, other composer. Would you just mind finishing this up for us?"
Right. And there's going to be more Star Wars movies. We already know about that, but I doubt that he's going to have anything to do with them.
Probably not. If anything, it's anything that's in post-production now.
Sure.
That's it. She wraps up saying, "Logic is not really a thing in this movie. However, I do think there are some fun scenes, and I love Short Round and Dr. Jones. Such a fun team." Then she actually finished the email and then sent an addendum because she forgot to give us her ranking. From the bottom, number 4, Crystal Skull. Number 3, Temple of Doom. Number 2, Last Crusade. And number 1, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Fair enough.
Stephanie also sent us an email about Last Crusade. This one's a little bit shorter, so we'll run through this one. She says, "This one is my husband's favorite of the series. It is so fun, and I really like it too. I love the opening train scene and the father-son relationship." Another one with an opening train scene. I hadn't really thought about that.
There's trains all over the series.
Overall, this one is a little goofier, definitely less dark than Temple of Doom. My sister has been showing her kids all of these movies, and this one was their favorite. So thank you, Stephanie, for those.
Yeah.
We did also get a comment from Blake on Instagram about Last Crusade. He said, "Crusade might not be the best, but it's my favorite. I love the Nazis in a castle section and their eventual escape. And then they literally ride off into the sunset. Or so we thought."
Yeah. Yeah, that castle scene was really good, especially with them escaping from the burning room and the turning fireplace thing, and there's the Nazi laboratory behind them.
It's fun. It's goofy.
It's cartoonish.
And in this one that we just watched, Dial of Destiny, it's more fun. And that was something that was really kind of lacking.
Yep.
It's just that little bit of spirit.
Crystal Skull is devoid of fun.
They tried, but they forgot the spirit, and you have to have both to make it effective.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just an old man running around getting into trouble.
With a whip.
With a whip. But thank you to both Stephanie and Blake for those comments, and emails. Like we said, we want to hear more. We know that you have thoughts about these movies, good, bad, or anywhere in between. If you want to send us your ranking and nothing else, do that. Yeah. We want to hear your thoughts. That email again, neverseenitpod@gmail.com. Or like Blake, you can reach out to us on Instagram. We're also on Facebook and Twitter. I'm on there all the time. Trent kind of ignores it. I'll be real.
I see what people say.
You see what people say, or I tell you what they say. But we are on there and active, so please give us a follow on there and interact with us and see what we've got going on social media. We would also love if you gave us a review and rate us 5 stars wherever you would listen to podcasts. It helps grow the performance of the podcast and get us in front of more eyes to grow the show.
Eyes, ears, Betsy.
Whatever. You have to see it and click it before you can hear it.
I suppose.
So, I win. Science. This is a movie about a scientist, and I'm by proxy now a scientist. So definitely do those things. And if you haven't already, we are trying to get more listeners on Spotify. If you can go check us out on that platform, we would appreciate it.
You can still keep on listening at your normal platform, but just, download Spotify, go over there, rate us, and play a few episodes.
Go on every platform and rate us 5 stars.
That too.
Just do that. But that's it, Trent. We have finished all of Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
We are heading into the month of July, and we don't have a new series. We're going to be doing one-off episodes this entire month. The series are coming in August, so not that we're giving up on those. We just had a few that we knew we wanted to do at certain times this month.
We've been going hot and heavy with all the series for a while, and
we're approaching another milestone episode, and if you've been paying attention, you know what happens every 50 episodes.
What could it possibly be?
Go back and check the logs. I think you'll figure it out. But we're going to be doing a lot of just one-offs for the month of July, and then on to the next series when we get around to it.
In August.
But in the meantime, this has been Indiana Jones. This has been Never Seen It. I have been Betsy.
And I am Trent.
And we will see you next time.
Adios.